Good evening. A young boy is safe and back with his family tonight after what was a frightening and almost unbelievable ordeal. Close to 24 hours after an Amber Alert was issued, the North York boy was found in a rural area of Brampton and returned home. But it's the details of this case that are astonishing, involving a multi-million-dollar drug debt. And tonight, the police investigation continues with the suspects still at large.
I will tell you that he probably will be the most watched young man in the city of Toronto right now, so you'd be more than a fool to try to apprehend him or cause any harm to his family.
A warning from Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders to the 14-year-old boy's alleged abductors. Here's how it unfolded. At about 8:25 Wednesday morning, police received an unknown trouble call in the area of Jane and Driftwood.
When the officers from 31 Division arrived, the information was that they heard someone saying something to the effect of help me, and something to do with a black Wrangler Jeep with oversized tires involved.
It wasn't until about 5:27 that evening that police determined who the victim was. The boy's father reported him missing after he didn't return home from school. The Toronto District School Board admits that staff at Newtonbrook Secondary School failed to log him as absent from class by the 11 a.m. deadline, only notifying his family even later, after 6 o'clock that evening, that he wasn't in school that day.
We launched more aggressive resources put into play to help us move this as fast as we possibly could, because we understood what the circumstance was.
At 10 p.m. that night, police located the Wrangler about an hour northwest of Toronto in Caledon after a resident reported the vehicle burning in a park. Just after midnight, an Amber Alert was issued to find the boy.
We would encourage those who took Shema to drop him off in a safe place, contact a lawyer, and turn yourselves in.
At 10:20 Thursday night, 22 hours after the initial Amber Alert went out, he was discovered at an abandoned barn on the outskirts of Brampton. Police say his condition was, quote, disheveled. He was taken to a medical facility before being returned to his family.
We have yet to interview him, obviously, because we want his well-being to be the priority of this.
Toronto police believe the motive for the kidnapping was retribution for a multi-million-dollar unpaid drug debt owed by the teen's older stepbrother. They say his brother was involved in a 100-kilogram cocaine drug rip last summer, owing high-end drug traffickers an estimated $4 million. But though they say the brother has been assisting in the investigation, they don't know where he is.
The older brother had very limited contact with us. We don't know where he is. We definitely know that he's not in the GTA, and we're uncertain if, in fact, he's in the province.
Saunders did not reveal details as to what exactly led police to that barn in Brampton, but made it clear that they were at no point in contact with the alleged abductors.
We're asking again for witness appeal. If anyone knows anything towards this investigation, no matter how small, to please contact us at 416-808-2510 or call Crime Stoppers at 416-222-TIPS.
Now, the boy's stepbrother is, of course, a key figure here, and though police are urging him to speak to them, they are maintaining that his role in this investigation would be only as a witness. Again, no suspect descriptions here, but anyone with information is asked to contact police. Now, one major concern in this whole alleged abduction is the school's failure to notify the boy's parents that he was absent from class. Coming up, we're going to speak to a spokesperson for the TDSB to find out what exactly happened and why. After a harrowing 48 hours, a 14-year-old boy is home safe with his family. It was an ordeal that stunned the city. The boy allegedly kidnapped on his way to school as a retribution for his stepbrother's multi-million-dollar unpaid drug debt. But one of the major concerns in this case is the fact that the boy's school, Newtonbrook Secondary, didn't notify his parents that he was absent until 6 o'clock that evening. Now, we did speak to a TDSB spokesperson earlier today about what exactly went wrong and where they go from here. How could something so critical have been overlooked?
And that's exactly what we want to know. So that's why we're investigating this, to determine exactly what happened. Based on the initial information, we do know that the morning attendance was not entered into our systems prior to the 11 o'clock cutoff time that would prompt a morning automated call to go out. At the school, there are 2 calls that would go out for attendance things, like someone is late, someone is absent. That's at 11 o'clock and another around 6 o'clock. But because that morning attendance information wasn't put into the system before 11, it then got shifted to the second call, which unfortunately ended up going out at 6:09 p.m. that evening.
4 staff members that have been placed on home assignment. I know you obviously can't identify who they are, but what role did they play in this?
I'll just say that there are 4 staff members that are related to this incident and how it unfolded. Obviously, some of them involve teachers, others not, but there are 4 staff members in general that are on home assignment. And I should point out that home assignment is not disciplinary action in itself. Home assignment is simply taking the staff members out of the school during the investigation, allow us some time to investigate, and then that's when, as part of our investigation, it may result in disciplinary action, it may not, but that would be the next step after that.
Was the work to rule, or was sort of these disruptions, did that play a factor in what happened here?
Not that we're aware of. I haven't seen any indicator that the job actions would have played a role here. The job actions also don't include anything attendance related or anything like that. So no, we don't believe that played a role. This
was a critical thing that could have potentially changed the trajectory of this investigation. We're lucky that this young boy was found. But for those people who had major concerns about how this was handled, what message do you have to them?
We agree. It's concerning. This shouldn't have happened. And that's why this investigation is so important. The fact is, our procedures set out what should have happened, but we know that it didn't. But rest assured, we are just as concerned as parents are, and we want to get to the bottom of this so we can ensure something like this just doesn't happen again.
Now, we know that as far as classes are concerned, this student would have had 2 classes before that 11 a.m. attendance deadline. So that's 2 classes with potentially 2 teachers who did not enter attendance records for that time period. Now, Bird says in terms of timeline, this investigation could take up to a few weeks, but they do want to do it promptly, but they want to do it diligently as well.